Privet. When we clap here, we go like this. Because this noisy. When you are deaf, this is the sign for clapping. So let's show some appreciation to Helena. Helena, this project is because of Helena and Tanya and Abby. And all my job is to say, yes, let's do it. Let's make this space available. Now, I don't know you at all. I know some of you. You don't know me. I don't speak Ukrainian, and some of you don't speak English. So how shall we communicate tonight? How should we communicate? Let's stand up. Stand up. Everybody stand up. You've been sitting down too long. Big deep breath. Who likes singing?
Everyone. Every Ukrainian.
Every Ukrainian. So let me ask you to sing with me one note, okay? And then we're going to do harmony, okay? La. Some of you do harmony. La. When I go like this, you go loud. When I go like this, you go quiet, okay? La. It's not dark. Up, clap. Up, up. Do what I do. Say boom chicky boom. Say boom chicky boom. Say boom chicky boom chicky boom chicky boom. Say boom chicky boom chicky. Come on, move. Boom chicky boom chicky. Boom 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 boom. Boom 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 boom. Boom chicky boom chicky boom chicky boom. Aren't we having fun? Sit down. What you learn with pleasure, you never forget. Agree? Think of the most pleasure you have, you don't forget. Lots of school children don't enjoy school because it's not like TikTok. Yeah? TikTok is very fun. It's unreal. It's amazing. School can be hard. We want these sessions to be fun. You are adults. There is no exam. There is no comparison. Good phrase. Compare and despair. Compare, despair. Don't compare yourself with anybody. You are such wonderful, brave, powerful people.
Thank you.
And we stand in solidarity with you.
Thank you very much.
What you have been through in Ukraine, I will say it, is evil. Russia is a terrorist state. Yeah? So this is not a political state, but we have to say we stand in solidarity and we want you to make the best of being here in the UK. We have a brain drain in the UK. You are a brain gain. You understand? Drain, gain, and all of you, look at you. Who's got a second degree here? 2 degrees. MA? Come on, put your hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 degree, another degree. University.
When you go to university 2 times.
2 times. How many? Put your hands up. Yeah? Okay, so you're all cleverer than me. I have 1 degree. And I just got that. So we want to reframe this. We are teaching you, but we are learning from you. teach once, learn twice. All of you could teach somebody else, and you learn twice. Wonderful. So my session today is really just about helping you. Oh, that's me, Stephen. And I am involved in Facework. And Facework is not a recruitment agency. We don't promise you a job. I can't give you a job. I'd love to. But we help you face work. Because once you get a job, your sense of settlement will be better. You can afford a house. You can afford to give your kids a holiday. You can begin to feel, you know, this is where I'm going to be. We don't know how long for. This is such an uncertain time. Trump in America, Putin, we don't know what's going to happen. And there are some things we cannot control. But while we are here, we are helping you to face work. Because if you get work, it gives you meaning. Yeah? It gives you identity. People say to me, Steve, what's your name? I say, Steve. They say, what do you do? If you don't have a job, you feel rubbish. So we want to help you on that journey to work. And the last mile of your journey, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, however long you've been here, that last mile is the hardest. You're tired, exhausted, you give up. But we want to help you in that last mile to try and get a job, or get to ESOL training, or find ways to get meaning by volunteering. Okay? So this is a really important thing. Facework, we run community workspaces. We run social entrepreneurship. That's a big word. Social entrepreneur, French word. Entrepreneur. Who's an entrepreneur here? Say it. Entrepreneur. It's French. It means somebody who starts something. Enterprise. Business person. Many of you could be entrepreneurs, setting up your own business, if you can get your English right. Because England, like America, is a land of opportunity, and it's actually quite good to set up a business in the UK. Okay? We run youth programs and resources. I'm going to give you all today a copy of this booklet, which we've done, all about soft skills. And Helena and I went to Ukraine. I've been to Ukraine 3 times since the war. First time delivering ambulances. Oh, thank you. You can give me a wave. Not because I'm a hero, but I wanted to stand in solidarity. This lovely little young here called Darius, on our course in Ukraine. She was killed with her sister and her mother and her other sister in Kyiv last July, in Lviv. Lviv. You know the family.
I was
Yeah.
it was night.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we visited our parents.
Yeah.
It was just awful.
Awful.
My daughter scared so much because it's not far from my mother's
Yeah.
house, and I know this family.
Yeah. Well, Darius is a beautiful young girl. She was 13. And I just say that because I know the pain, a little bit of your pain. So we do this, and then we also run employment training for other refugees. Tarek, stand up, come up here, Tarek. Tarek is from Pakistan. And Tarek is working with refugees from Afghanistan, Syria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, lots of places, Africa. All over the world, except Ukraine. And Tarek, again, we stand in solidarity with you, okay? And this is a good man. He had his own business working with 300 people in Lahore, and had to leave. So if you have other people in your community from those backgrounds, come and see Tarek. Let's give Tarek a love. Well done, thank you. And so these programs are what we do, and we create environments where everyone can learn and grow. And you're never too old to learn. Lifetime learning. Okay? And tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening in this world of work. But before I do that, I want to give you a quote from Maya Angelou. Who knows Maya Angelou? American black civil rights leader, poet. And she says, people will forget what you say. They'll forget what you say. They will never forget the way they made you feel. Now, if you want to come back here week after week after week, it's because you know that we care, it's know that you feel safe, it's because you need to feel respected, and you need to have hope. And I can say that, but I want to show it to you. Bringing food, nice warm environment. Isn't this a lovely space?
Yeah.
It's yours.
Thank you.
Thursdays. Thursdays? Yeah. Thursdays. You come Thursdays. It's yours. Come at 1 o'clock, have a coffee, just go behind the bar. Best parties are in the kitchen, yes? Best parties in the kitchen. Can't get you out at the end. So this is really important, and that's in Ukrainian. So we want to create a safe space, and this is our values. Values. You know values? The heart. And this is really important for you to hear. I want to talk to you about 4 things tonight, and there's going to be a little bit of interaction. I've got some exercises. We learn by doing, not just by listening. Okay? But I want to challenge you. Who's up for a challenge? Who's up for a challenge? You want to be challenged? Some people say, no, I want to watch television. It is challenging. Life is challenging. And your journey is challenging. I don't want to add more pressure to you, but this is going to be difficult to get a job. There's no easy job. I can't just give you a job. We need to really put all our thinking, all our passion, all our understanding of mankind, all our understanding of the opportunities, the changes in our world. What's DeepSeek? AI. Huge. DeepSeek this week has run a horse and cart through the whole AI industry. Trump must be just scared the Chinese are coming. It's going to change our world like that. One technology. So things are going to change. But I want you to be ready to adapt and relearn. Relearn. I want to talk to you about why constant change is here to stay. This world of work, no career for life. Portfolio career. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Variety. How many of you have got children? Hands up if you've got a child. This is their world. So you need to think, not, oh, it's not like it used to be. Oh, isn't it wonderful in the past? Whatever you're born with is normal. You understand? Whatever you're born with is normal. I have 3 children, 26, 24, 22. So different from my world. They were born with this, like their umbilical cord to mobile technology. That has changed modern childhood. You can say, oh, it's not like my day. Get over it. For them, it's normal. And we have to adapt, and we have to relearn and think. And that's why I asked you, have you got a degree? We're going to use our brains tonight. We're going to think. I want to think about what differentiates us from machines. What makes us humans and not a robot? You know? We're not robots, are we? We just stood a minute and where we sang, and we clapped, and we laughed. And there are things about our humanity that are worth celebrating. And if you really love people, you've got a great job for life. Because there's lots of jobs that only people can do. Teaching, caring. Yeah? Lots of jobs are growing because people are needed. And then what I want to talk about is one of the skills that we need to help you with is in communication. And people say, I can't communicate in England because I don't have English yet. Say the word, yet. Yet. We are the Yeti Club. We are the Yeti Club. Okay? Mindset. You know mindset? Fixed mindset. I can't do this. I will never learn English. Growth mindset. Might have a... Oh, yes. Privet. How do you say? Privet. Oh, privet. I know one word. Okay. Next word. Yet. Okay? So we are going to help you think about how do you communicate? How do you sell yourself? Because we sell ourselves with our smile and with our appearance and our body language and our emotions. And once you realize that that is a superpower, yeah? It'll give you some confidence. So let's crack on. one of the things we have to think about is what this man Alvin Toffler said. The literate of the 21st century is someone who can learn, listen, unlearn, and relearn. When you unlearn, it's very, very uncomfortable. My children, 26-year-old, my daughter, she tells me, Dad, you're wrong. Dad, you're so alpha. Dad, Dad, you don't understand. And sometimes I think, she's right. You have to unlearn your status. When I was in Ukraine, when you were in Ukraine, I had a business. I had a network. I had a language I could understand. I could walk down Lviv or Kyiv, say hello to people. People knew me. Unlearn. Unlearn. It's really hard. But you have to navigate a new way of learning. And this is in Ukrainian, yeah? Pretty good, accurate translation. Not Google Translate. Helena translates that. The second thing is it's really important that when we talk about what job will be meaningful and good for you, it's what you will love to do. Buddha says, if you love what you do, you'll never do a day's work in your life. Understand? If you love what you do, you will never do a day's work in your life. Do you think I love my job? Yeah. Why am I here at 8 o'clock tonight? Because I love my job. My wife says, out again. We'll make it up. But when you ask young people, don't say, what do you want to do when you grow up? They don't know. No one knows. What problems do you want to solve? That'll incentivize them to learn, and in that they'll be motivated. So one of the things that you might say is, I've got to get a job. Well, you're worth good jobs. I've had people in the Ukraine program who says, I'm in a hotel doing sheets, laundry maid, in the kitchen, they treat me bad, I feel so demoralized. I told them, stop it. If you can stop that job. Spend 6 months intensively learning English and think about other options. So let's think about what you're good at. Where are your skills? Where are your qualities? Are you an extrovert or an introvert? There are different jobs that please different people. We also want to make sure that when we're talking today, we're thinking about how are you learning, okay? If I just did this lecture, you would learn about 5%. Because we're using audio-visual and I'm walking around and I'm asking you to sing and you're remembering things, you'll remember more by doing. And if you then practice that and teach other people, you learn so much. Now, one of the ways that we want to make our world here better is by getting people to make things. Not products, but make networks, make relationships. Helena here, give me a high five, helped me paint the makerspace. I didn't know her. In fact, when she first came here, the first course, 3 or 4 months ago, I was a bit scared of Helena, wasn't I? Because you were very clear about what was wrong and what was right. But we painted together. We cleaned windows together. We had fun together. We laughed together. And because she does that, she understands maybe some things about work, that it can be good, that British people are not all stiff upper lip. The English people can have fun and character. And there's so much variety and diversity. I went to Lviv, didn't see a black person for 2 weeks. Really. Don't think I saw a black person. Now, that's not to say you don't have cultural changes across Ukraine and different ethnicities, but in London, so much variety. And you can be scared of that or you can embrace it, and it's wonderful. So lots of the ways that we learn, we can do by being involved. And I want you to think about the environments where you learn. Because if you don't have English, it's hard to just learn in an English context academically. You can't read a newspaper yet. But you can learn when you're supporting a friend, when you're asking questions, when you're exploring, when you're playing football. Who likes playing football? Yeah? Good man. And so you play football? Let's play football one day. Let's go on Saturday and play football. We'll learn who's good at teamwork, at skills, at shouting. Yeah? And that's fun. If you embrace that, that's a learning activity. So think about where you learn. So you're learning a little bit here, but I'm going to give you some exercises that you can learn when you're at home this week. Benjamin Franklin, the only man on the back of the $100 American bill. Pretty important guy. But he says this, tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. We want to involve you. Really. We have this makerspace. On Fridays, if you want to make something and teach other people, it's work, isn't it? You may not get paid for it, but that's work. That's about meaning. That's about identity. So these are things that I just wanted you to share. I won't share that one. Now, the second part of this is, why is constant change here to stay? Elon Musk in 2019 said, we are beginning to evolve faster than our ability to understand it. Okay? It can feel scary, but we don't want you to just do boring jobs. We want you to think all that wonderful character and intelligence and passion and values that the Ukrainian people have. You know? You're not the poor cousins in England. You are the brain gain. We need you. And we need to address the fact that things are changing very quickly. Even 2 years ago, you could go to Sainsbury's and talk to somebody about buying a box of chocolates. Oh, thank you very much. Are they the right ones? Yes. Now, zip, zip, zip. Can you come and help me? Zip, zip. Now, zip, zip. Why don't you come and help me? Zip. How does that woman feel? Shit. So anything that can be automated is going to be taken over by machines because of the race to cheap. You understand? Yeah. But these interconnection cogs of artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, quantum computing, what happens is that we over-exaggerate the short term, but we underestimate the long term. And suddenly, things like AI, deep mind technology is really having a difference. And we are now in this fourth industrial revolution. So we have to adapt, not just thinking of the old jobs, but what could we be trained to do in a new job? Or using some of these new tools, as Abby said, to get a good job, you know? And AI can help with some of the translation and some of the way you present yourself, but it's got to be authentic. There we are. That's yesterday I found out this CV. I wrote this book. I gave the link to a computer. The computer scraped all the data. They then put it into 2 conversations with 2 people, pressed a button. It was a podcast about my book. I kid you not. Hey, I've just read this great book by Stephen called Soft Skills, A Wonderful Way of Looking at Children. Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? I particularly liked this. Now, it was a bit American, but the next generation, they will echo my voice and they will present me on that podcast and you won't be able to tell the difference. So this is going to affect jobs. We have to adapt to it and recognize that. Incredible. The jobs of the future are the ones that machines can't do. And that's good news, isn't it? Yeah. You know, and we need to have jobs that give us social interactions, jobs which talk about our physicality, our dexterity. One of the biggest growths in the UK job market is fitness and health and gyms and exercises, you know? And people will pay for that. They're sitting at the desk so long with the computers, get sore back, they feel bored. Exercise. So these things, ultimately, the machines will probably do that as well. But these are the things where are best humans. So I want to help you just think about that. That's really important for you to understand that some of the jobs that you may be applying for are disappearing. So we have to think creatively, what are the growth areas? And a lot of the growth areas are in the service sector. UK used to be manufacturing. We built the Industrial Revolution. There were more mines in Britain than anywhere else in the world. There were more looms in Lancashire than anywhere in the world. We created things, and now we don't. But we do have lots of services, financial services, technology services. So let's move on, because what I want to encourage you is what this man from the CBI is called the Confederation of British Industry, and he says businesses are clear that developing the right attitudes and attributes such as resilience, respect, enthusiasm and creativity is just as important as academic and technical skills. Do you believe that? Not sure. Well, we'll look at it. Because what he's saying is that what you bring as a human to the workplace is now very, very much valued. Some big companies are not looking at CVs at all. You know? Because just because you've got a degree doesn't mean you're the best person for that job. The qualities, the skills, the adaptability, the resilience, the creativity, some of those things are hard to measure. So they're just as important in ever more competitive jobs market, such qualities that give our young talent a head start and allow existing employees to progress to higher skilled, better paid jobs. So what I am saying is it's bad news, the machines are coming, but it's good news that you have qualities and skills and human attributes that are positive. And we're going to look at them tonight, okay? Still with me? Give yourself a pat on the back. Physical. Yeah? Come on, just use your body. It's just boring listening. Right. So what soft skills do you think are important? Soft skills. What do we mean by soft skills? Give me one. Somebody shout out a soft skill. Helena, just translate. What am I saying? Give me a soft skill. Communication skills. Brilliant. What sort of communication skills?
When I can communicate with another person that
Yeah.
says something or just, I don't know,
Yeah.
ask what she wants,
Yeah.
what she expects.
You could break down the communication skills to listening. A lot of people don't listen. 2 to 1. 2 to 1. Listen twice as much as you talk. Other communication skills, my body language. Yeah? I'm not engaged. Sharing your story. Small talk. I've told Ukrainians don't do small talk. Yeah? At the bus stop, hello. Yeah, you all right? Yeah. Horrible weather, isn't it? Yeah. Raining cats and dogs. Yeah, cats and dogs. The other day it was sunny, wasn't it? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Small talk.
Because we don't speak English.
Very small, but well, even in Ukraine, you don't do small talk in Ukrainian. I know. And it's because there's a reason. If you lived in an environment where there was a bit of suspicion, you didn't want to raise your head. Who knows? Who's looking at you talking small talk? So there's a reason. But here it's a proxy. The word proxy is a substitute for just connection. Understand? We don't go personal, we talk about something broad and we work out whether they're worth talking personal. So you need to learn to have soft skills and to have small talk because connections create opportunities. Somebody will say, and I know that's sometimes bad, but they'll say, where are you from? Because of the accent. And you might say, well, I've been in the UK for 2 years, but I miss Ukraine like mad. And if it's somebody who's empathetic, they'll say, really? Tell me more. So what are you doing here? Well, I'm still looking for a job. Well, what were you doing in Ukraine? I used to have my own cleaning business. Your cleaning business? I know so many offices that need good cleaners. Give me your card. I haven't got a card. Well, let me just take a photograph of your WhatsApp number. Who knows? I'm imagining it, but if you don't talk, you won't hear. And somebody might give you an opportunity. Most jobs are not advertised. You know that? You don't look at the newspaper, I want a cleaner for a factory. It's the word of mouth. Your network is your net worth. Your network. So this idea of talking, meeting people, harder for people who are introverts, I know. I am an extrovert. My wife, an introvert.
Is this your nature or this is a skill also? It's a skill.
Well, most extroverts are actors. And they like presenting the stage as the world as a stage. So there are some skills that you learn. But even introverts can be great actors. Great actors. My wife, an introvert, but she's a teacher. You cannot just sit still in a classroom. She has great power because, like me, I speak. When Fiona speaks, the world listens. It's good. So, what are the soft skills do you like? What are the soft skills? Problem solving. You've read this book, my dear. Problem solving. Tell me a problem. What's a problem in life? Say again. Find a job. That's a problem. Yeah. What about thinking critically? You have to think critically. Problem solving. You have to be creative. Is asking questions a good soft skill? Most people don't ask questions because they don't want to look silly. No such thing as a silly question. So these are good skills to have. Can somebody else give me another soft skill? Paying attention. That is about being self-aware and being focused. Good one. Fast learning. Fast learning, there's soft skills in that. It's a broad concept, fast learning. It's not better than slow learning, it's just a way of learning, but people can often pick up things quickly because they're good communicators or they're good listeners or they're good problem solvers. One of the things that we do now, what are we doing now? Team player. High five. Up high? On the side? Down below? Down below? Too slow. Look, yeah, team players. You want to get kids to play team plays? They go on a sports field, you'll see who's a good team player. Yeah? And teams, most jobs involve teams. Very few jobs don't involve teams. Even when you work for yourself, you're still talking to suppliers, you're talking to customers, you're talking to agents. Yeah? Right, so there's a few things. Now, in this booklet, we have created a workbook for growing human skills. This is in contrast to the machines, okay? Because sometimes people don't know what soft skills are. Sometimes they're 21st century skills. Sometimes they're interpersonal skills. It doesn't matter what you call them. But what we're saying to you tonight is these are really important. And they're particularly important when you are in transition. Yeah? You've moved from Ukraine, you're here. Your CV may not mean very much. What's this university? I don't believe that's as good as our degree. What's this company you work for? Never heard of them. That doesn't mean as much, sadly, and people judge those. Even your surname. People say, "Ooh, sounds a foreign surname. I don't want somebody speaking in this country like that because they probably can't understand our customers." That is called discrimination. And if you have it, you need to flag it because there are laws about that. You cannot discriminate on ethnicity or grounds of religion, on gender, on diversity, on age. We can talk about that another time. In the workforce, we're very hot on what's called the protected characteristics. But we move on. These skills will really help you if we can master them, if we can grow them. Now, particularly this, because hard skills will get you the job, often, but soft skills will grow your career. Yeah? I haven't got that in Ukrainian. I'm sorry, I don't think I do. Do I have it in there? Yeah. Oh, well, here's it. These are the non-technical skills that affect how you work, including how you collaborate with everybody. Yeah? How flexible you are. Some people are taking photographs of this. That's fine. But you'll get all the presentation as a PDF tomorrow in your mailbox. Helena, won't you? Or at least you'll say where it is on the website. So you can take photographs, that's fine, but you'll get a copy. How you solve problems, how you manage your work, your attitudes. And this is so important for you to understand because you have these skills already. I can tell. You may not know the English skills, but you have these life skills. You may not be tech literate, but you are life literate. You may not be English literate, but you are life literate. Life literate. You have life. And it's about gaining confidence and saying, I don't know how to communicate that, but I can show that I'm eager. When Tiana comes to this place, when you came here, every time you come into this room, my heart lifts. You have a smile that lights up the universe. And that's good enough for me as an employer, because I feel pretty shit sometimes. She comes in, I think, Tanya's here, it's great. When Helena came to this job, she was, shall I tell them? The interview, she was so nervous. I asked her the question at the end. I said, have you got any questions? She said, when can I go? Enormous. But there was something about Helena that I knew was brilliant, and look at what she's done 3 years later. I've trained 196 Ukrainian refugees in Lewisham alone. You've got to find employers who will give you a chance, give you an opportunity. And you can show that by your attitude, not necessarily your qualification, by your ability to be flexible. I have one person who says, Steve, I don't mind doing anything. I'll move the chairs. I'll sort out your problems. That is music to an employer. I have 12 staff now, and every one of them, I would work for them. Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, he said, I will only hire someone if I would work for them. Incredible. So these are the soft skills that, hello Oksana, come on, and Anna's here as well, come on in girls. And who else is there? Oh, how are you doing, man? Oh, Lexi, where have you all been? Down the pub? These are people who've been on this course, this time 2 years ago. And I went with Anna to Ukraine in a mad journey. We'll talk about that. We drove all the way to Poland and onto that. Another time we'll tell you. But these are the skills that we need to help you get. And the good news is you can get these skills. You can grow these skills. And they will bring more confidence for you. So let's move on. When you are in a new country, these soft skills are particularly valuable because your hard skill qualifications, this will take time. We have some lawyers here from Ukraine, and they know it'll take 3 years to get their qualification in Ukraine validated here for the UK. Now, what do? Do they wait all the time? No. One of them, Elena, is going to set up her own coffee business. A lawyer wanting to do a coffee business. Why not? You might say it's a waste of her degree, a waste of her experience, but that's going to make her happy. That's going to give her meaning. That's going to give her purpose. And so there's no job that's too low for you if it's something that could give you meaning and identity and money. And sometimes this is the challenge. You have to rethink your career. And this big word in English, pivot. Say it. Pivot. Not privet. Pivot. Move. Change direction. And it's hard. But this is the sort of thing we need to think about helping you to do. Soft skills can help you compensate for communicating in English. They can help you compensate. You can show that you're attentive. You can say, I don't understand everything, but I'm a quick learner. Yeah? Most employers will see in the first 10 seconds whether somebody is worth employing. They judge very quickly. So the way you present yourself, your smile, your body language, really powerful, really important for an interview. Your character and personality is so important to show. And most English people, when they hear that you come from Ukraine, they'll say, respect. You have shown remarkable resilience. What is resilience? Ukrainian word? Sticky. Sticky. Resilience. Fall down 6 times, get up the... Fall down 7 times, get up the... Fall down 8 times. You know, not just once, ongoing. Now that is such a thing for you to say, I am resilient. I will be here on time. I will sort out my kids if they're late. I will be reliable. And last thing, these soft skills show your excellent work ethic. They show that you can do. When Helena came and cleaned the most crappiest windows, it was her attitude. Of course she's more important than cleaning windows, but she said, I'll have a go. That shows qualities. That shows that she's employable. Not because she can speak English. Well, she can. Not because she's a lawyer. You're not. Yeah, but because you can clean windows. You can show qualities that are so important. Right, let's move on. What I wanted to ask you to do is an exercise. Of all these different soft skills, we're going to look at the last one in this pack, which is all about communication. This pack is called STEPS. Self-management, teamwork, enterprise, problem solving, and the last one should be communication, but it doesn't end with an S for STEPS, so it's speaking and listening. And we've got it in English, and we've done the whole thing in Ukraine. So Oksana, who's not here, has helped us translate the whole of this booklet into Ukraine. Just before Christmas, I had a talk with 8 universities across Ukraine, and they were interested in knowing how they could get this booklet into every school in Ukraine. And that has been grown from this room with you helping. Isn't that good? So what I want you to do is get into pairs. Pairs? 2s, 3s. Maybe 2s or 3s. And I want you to have a look at this. It's a spider's web. And I want you to look at these 6 different aspects of speaking and listening. One is sharing your story. Is that important? For work? It's a verbal CV, isn't it? A CV is written down what your story is. But you need to say, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Sharing your story in concise, positive, short ways. Real skill. People will listen if it's not boring. If it's not too, oh, this has been awful. You know, let me tell you my story. I had to walk with my family for 3 hours to get to the train, and I was on a train for 16 hours to get to Czechoslovakia. I got a coach from Czechoslovakia to Poland. From Poland, I managed to get a flight. It took me 4 days to get to the UK. That's valid. And you might say that's personal. It is personal. That's fine. But when you're talking about yourself in a context of going for a job, you need to tell your story. When I start my story, I say, I was born at a remarkably young age. It's a joke. I was born in India. I grew up in Nepal. The first school I went to was Kathmandu. Have I got your interest? Are you interested? A little bit. In other words, find things that are going to resonate and make a connection. The second one is using body language. Very important. If you're sitting there waiting for an interview and you're on your phone, it doesn't show interest. All your body language, positive, looking like you're ready. Third one, being able to speak in public. Very hard if English isn't your good language. But not so much in public, but with projectile, with good voice. Yeah? Being a good listener, being a digital literacy. These are things. Now, when in pairs, just get a pen and scribble between 1 and 7. 1 and 2, poor. 6, 7, good. Doesn't matter. Just for tonight. It's not good, 7 good, 1 poor. Just grade yourself. And then talk about it, okay, in pairs. Now, who wants a Ukrainian one? Hands up. There are Ukrainian ones or there are English ones, okay? English or Ukraine? Ukraine. There we go. Ukraine? Okay. I'll give everybody a Ukraine. Do you want to pass them along? And then the good thing is we've got English version, so already tonight you can compare the words. So on the English versions, you can say, this is the English for that word, okay? So I don't want to hear my voice now for 10 minutes, okay? For 10 minutes, Steve, no, okay? Talk to each other about these skills. Pen. Who wants a pen? Have we got some pens? Tanya, can you give us some pens? There's some pens down there somewhere. And just in pairs, compare each other and talk to each other. These English ones. No, that's Ukrainian. That's English, Ukrainian. Ukrainian. English, please. I didn't do this very well. I'm obviously not a very good teacher, am I? Have something. So tonight, you've also got the vocabulary for all these words, okay? So just in pairs, be talking about what you think, okay? I'll do it with you, Sergey. And what's your name?
Elena.
Elena and Sergey. I'm going to come and join you. I'll turn the microphone off so we don't hear each other. So, what do you think? Which one are you looking at first? Well, this one, sharing your story. Is this sharing your story?
Yes.
Are you good at sharing your story?
Good.
Good at sharing your story?
Where?
To me, now?
To me now? I can.
Tell me your story.
Oh, interesting story. Born and lived in very beautiful country, Ukraine. Programming internet sites.
You're a programmer.
Yes.
That's good.
And in our country, it's hard to build a house in clean job.
In a green job? No. Clean.
In
Я приведу.
without, ну,
Cheating. Без обмана.
не, да, без обмана, without.
Without cheating.
Without
Honest,
cheating.
yeah.
Yes, that
Without
is
cheating.
bribery. Bribery.
Oh, bribery also, yes,
Yeah.
bribery, yeah.
It's hard,
Yeah,
but I do it.
yeah.
And war is come, and now I hear.
But Sergey,
But 2 years I be a soldier.
2 years you have been a soldier in
Yeah,
Ukraine.
yeah,
in the current war,
yeah.
Yeah. On the line 0, yeah.
And now I here with my family.
now Sergey, you have managed to tell me something about yourself in English in a very short way. You were born in a beautiful city. You're a programmer. You tried to build your house, but you had to face corruption. You went into the war to be a soldier. You've now come to Britain. In 5 minutes, or 2 minutes, you've told me something about yourself. Now, being able to do that in English is very hard, but you could actually practice those sentences in English, and you would make a connection.
I understand.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
So I would
And
give.
he has plan.
He has plans.
What to tell.
Yeah. So can you see that's very helpful? So if you had an interview, to be able to tell your story like that is so powerful, so important. What about you? What about being a good listener? How would you think you're a good listener? I think you're a good listener.
Yeah, I'm not listening.
The reason why, when I was watching people, she was going like this, give me body language. Very important. Some people go like this. She was going.
Yeah,
Yeah. But being a good listener, is that important?
is it very important to understand other people? It's interesting for me. I'm not play some game of play. I'm not an actress. It's always interesting for me to listen to somebody's story.
And listening attentively, it helps people to share their story.
Yeah.
If you listen and they think you're just going to speak, you shut up. But her body language, smiling, listening, really important. There are lots of jobs in the UK working with children. Children are not listened to very much. They're on the phone all the time, and their parents are busy. They long for people to listen to them.
And some adults also don't like listening.
But there's so
Most people like to speak.
what sort of jobs are there for people who like to listen?
Psychology. I'm
I can tell. So she understands the human spirit, the human mind.
Yeah.
And those skills are so important. And we could help you to be a therapist or a counsellor for other people in this group. That's what Natalia has done. Stefan.
Yeah, I understand.
Come and join us, Luda, come and join us. Luda, let me ask you a question. You can have the Ukrainian language. Are you good, here we are, are you good at
Sorry, I am
using body language? Are you good at communicating with your body?
I think yes.
I think so. When I was talking, you were going like this. It's good.
Thank you.
Elena was talking about just listening skills, so important. You know, Sergey here was talking about being able to tell his story. These are things that are very important when you come to this country. To show that you're listening, to share your story, to use good body language. And you might say, that's not going to get me a job, but it helps. And it also builds your confidence because you're communicating with
The
people.
problem is skills, I think.
I think you're very... What was your job back in Ukraine?
I was a lecturer in university. It's my first job, and I have own business.
What was your business in?
I doing sales in internet.
Right.
Sales,
You were
internet,
in digital marketing.
internet marketing.
Right, now, Sergey just told me his story in 1 minute. You tell me your story in English in 1 minute. My name is Luda.
It's English, I think, not easy for me, but I try because I just come only 3 months live here in London.
3
I live
months?
in Ukraine.
You've been only here for 3 months.
Yes, only 3
Isn't our
months.
English good for 3 months?
I think she studied it before.
Yes, I'm sure. You do learn a little bit. But just tell
No,
me.
I'm not in school at university. I want to study because I want to know, because I traveling too much and I want to speak and have communicate with people.
You can get good at almost knowing by heart your story in English. So Sergey was struggling with some words. We were talking about it's very hard because of corruption and bribery, and you were able to tell him those words. And then if I asked you again, you can say, I tried to build my house, but everybody wanted some money, and I had to really fight through that, not to give in and become corrupt. And that tells me about your values. It's really important to tell your story.
Yes, it's easy for me. I can tell my story, but I need to decide what it is for me when I do it. Sorry, I don't know how to explain to you.
Well, these are things that I think are just worth thinking about. And the booklet has exercises for each of these things. So how do you get good at listening? How do you get good at using body language? How do you recognize difference? Because some people have different cultural ways of speaking and communicating. Well, listen, have a read of this yourself. Turn the page over, and on the back side, it talks about which out of these 5 are you good at, and which jobs require these skills. Can you see? Which jobs require these skills? In Ukrainian,
Yes.
you've got the same language here, okay? Thirdly, where do you score low? Okay? What action could you take to improve these areas? And the other thing is, this is very good. Where do you know people who are good at these things? So do you have friends or do you have contacts of people? It's slightly different. It's slightly different. But this is a very good one because it says, who do you know who's good at sharing their story? How do you know who's good at listening? And sometimes you can say to people, I think you're a very good listener. And that will really help them because it comes from somebody who's a peer, who's a compatriot. Have a talk. And if you wanted to scribble this in, I can give you a pen and just score yourself. So I've got a pen for you, okay?
Yes, you're very nice communicator. You are very open.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'll take that.
I've been here in the UK for 8 years. But now I'm like feel ready that I can.
So, Sergey, let me help you here. So let's do this, as I want you to be an example. It's an English one. So you're sharing your story. I think about 4 out of 10.
I agree,
Yeah,
yes.
you agree? Now this one, using body language. How good are you at using body language?
Oh, body language is very hard because it's I have mind sick.
You have your mind is sick.
Yeah,
Really?
panic attacks.
Yeah, Sergey, don't say any more. That's. I don't want to
my body
re-traumatize.
show it.
Yeah, yeah. So this is your body is affected by the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before war.
Really?
Before war, I have the sick. Before
Sickness,
war.
sickness.
Yeah. But when the war is started, I take self and go to army because it's needed.
Yeah, I know.
But after 2.5 years, it's
much.
Too much.
Did
Too
they-
much. It's too hard.
Okay. I think it's very, like you will know, it's very hard to talk about trauma without it revisiting. Okay, so I don't want to talk to you about trauma because it's not fair. I don't know you. You understand? We have to respect that. But you are saying that your body is often affected by these desperate events. So that's really powerful. And at least you recognize that. And if you found an employer in the army who works in the police or security services, you don't want to do that anymore. But at least you know that. Okay. What about this one, which is, are you good at projecting your voice? Not much. No. Just a little bit. Okay. What about this one? Are you a good listener?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Look at that. Are you good with technology? Are you digital? Yeah. So there you go. See? And this one, reframing. It's a hard one. It means seeing things from a different perspective, communicating and saying, I'm going to reframe that. I think that's the wrong way of looking at something. It's quite philosophical. This is a little bit more complicated.
I think some small.
Okay, a little bit. Yeah. Now, the good thing about this is I will give you this booklet where you can have exercises in Ukrainian that will help you think about these things. I'll give you the English version today because then you can learn the English words, and bit by bit this could really help you with confidence. Okay. Would you like? Do you feel confident to do yours as well? Can I do yours as well in English? You do it the different color. You do it red.
It is interesting, you know, to ask some friend to describe me.
Yeah.
His opinion about me, for
Okay.
example,
Okay.
and my opinion about myself.
Okay.
And to compare.
Right. Let's do
It
that.
will be interesting.
So,
But
Sergey,
we don't know each other.
do
We
you
don't
know each other?
No.
Do you know anybody
no,
here?
No.
Well, I will.
It's just
I will.
my idea.
I will do you because from what I can observe. Okay. I think you're very good at sharing your story. I think you would be good at sharing your story. No, not right. So you used both. I think because you are highly emotionally intelligent, you're a therapist. And I think if you wanted to share your story, that would be easy for you. Or maybe not easy, but you know the importance of it. I think you must be a very good listener because you do that for a living. Yes?
Yeah, it's true. Yes.
Yeah. Public speaking? Confidently? See, I bet your leaders are very
Ask me,
good.
you ask me.
Yes.
It's not 100%. It depends on situation.
And language, English.
Language also,
Yeah. Luda's very good at public speaking because she's been a university professor.
Because she has an experience.
So
But
this
my
depends.
English not good.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Are you good technology? Can you communicate digitally?
50-50.
Okay.
Not all the time.
Now, basically, and reframing, we don't know what that means. There's not enough time to do that. The reason why this is the first time we've talked about these things together, and it is fairly straightforward. You know, are these taught or are they caught? Mostly they're caught. If you grow up in a family that gives you responsibility, you become responsible. If you grow up in a family where people listen to you, you become a good listener. Yeah? And so this is nurture or nature, very interesting, you know? But some of these things are still worth reflecting. And as you get into the work, Sergey, when you told me your story, I was engaged. Now, you have to be very careful telling your story. Engaged, very interested. Sergey, are you happy if I share one or two things that you've said to me tonight or not? To the group? No, don't do it. Would you feel happy me sharing something about your story?
Sorry.
Would you be happy if I said in our conversation, you told me you're a good listener because you're a therapist?
Yes, I'm a therapist. It's my
Background. Yeah.
I agree with everything. What is it?
Using body language. I think you're good at using body language as well. Yeah, you're good at body language. I think so. Anyways, it's just things that we need to think about when we communicate. All right. Let us go back to the group now. Let me see. Are you happy to share your story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you sure? Good. How are you getting on? Good?
Yeah.
Interesting?
You already speak about traveling and something
Would you like to give some feedback?
feedback?
Maybe? Okay, folks. Let us come back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely, thank you. You got talking. You probably learnt more from each other than from me, yes? And I was listening to people, and some really powerful things came out. Even if you get good at practicing telling your story in English, you almost have to learn it by memory. It's a good exercise. And we talked with Sergey today, and I won't say what he shared with me, but it's very personal. But he came across some words. I'll give you one example. He said, I tried to build my house in Ukraine, but there was so much corruption. Corruption? Bribery? And he tried not to go down that road. And instead, he went to work in the army. He's been in the war. Now, that tells me, as somebody who might employ him, that he has a really good moral code. Moral. He knows the right and wrong. He didn't know what the word for bribery was in English. But Elena, you told him, didn't you? Yeah? So just learning that one word can be very powerful in communicating, if you can tell your story. Over the side here, Elena. Alana, tell me, you were working very hard, and show your sign. Look, this, I love the way different people colour them in different ways. So sometimes they colour them in like this, and some people say, I'm not going to do all that colouring, I'll just do a little bit at the end. Elena, tell me, you're very good at all of them.
Not all.
Well, tell everybody.
For myself?
Yeah. Oh, so you did it, well, you do yours, and then she does you.
Yeah, really. Alana used to work in tourist business, and was really excited. And he is here trying to find herself, maybe in this business, but she's quite reframing. So she can do something else. She's in the process of finding herself, and she really good in listening. And I check with, so I.
You agree? She's good at listening?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And she a very nice communicator.
Yeah.
As for me, and.
But just before you do you, did Elena say that to you in Ukrainian or English?
Yeah, we spoke in Ukrainian.
Okay. Now, that's good, because then you get good at telling your story. I was in the travel industry. I loved it. I'm now over here, and I'm trying to get another job, but I love that idea of travel. But you've got to learn to do it in English. So telling your story in English in a very succinct way, but with emotion and power, that's very good. So what did you learn from each other? What did you learn from her before you say anything else? Alina, what do you know about the other Alina?
I learned from Elena positivity.
Positivity?
Yes, and a good listening as well, and a conversation, how to say,
Yeah.
good communication.
Yeah.
And really open person.
Yeah.
And she is good. I feel you are a good friend.
Now,
We already feel each other.
but listen to the language she's used there. Positivity, an open person. Now, in an interview, You could remember that. I'm sharing my story, but I'm using really powerful words. I'm a very positive person. Most of my friends think I'm a very open person. Now, what are the jobs where you need those skills?
Jobs?
Yeah, what jobs?
Jobs related to customer service.
Yep, customer service.
Absolutely all.
Yeah.
And
And which?
selling.
Selling.
Selling is like customer
Yeah.
service, yeah.
So you don't have all the vocabulary, but you've practiced telling your story and making it relevant. That's a soft skill. That's a great skill. It's a superpower. Well done. Can we show some appreciation? Now, my friend Helena here. Helena's similar. Some good, some bad. It's not science. This is art. You said to me, it depends. Sometimes I can speak publicly. Luda here is a university professor. She's good at public speaking, isn't she? Yeah? But a lecturer. So you had to speak in a public context. Sometimes to 200 students? Sometimes 80.
No,
80. So in that context, she's very, very good at public speaking. Here in the UK, where you don't know your language, you're not a university speaker. Harder. But there are some transferable skills there. Come on, stand up. This is good public speaking. Let's show some love. Now, you tell me about what you've learnt here or what you are good at in this area. In English.
From this diagram, I decide I am the best in listening. I very good for listen stories in other people, what they won't tell me, and I listen, understand, and like talking about that if they want. I think it's my better skill what I have.
What jobs require good listeners? Say again? Psychological support. And in amongst us here, there are some people who've done therapy and been in therapy, but also helped people in therapy. Absolutely. What other jobs require good listeners? Customer service. Especially if I've got a complaint. I'm angry. How do you listen to me?
I'm not so angry how you show me.
This doesn't work! Okay. What about working with children? Children are not listened to. Yeah? Spy. You want to be a spy, you've got to be a good listener.
It's important to listen other people.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
She's obviously got a very interesting career here. Maybe she's a spy. She's listening to me talking. Well, listen, it's a bit of fun. Sit down. Thank you so much. Really, all we wanted to do today is to help you think about things that are so obvious. People say to me, are soft skills taught or are they caught? Usually they're caught. My kids are responsible because I've given them responsibility. My kids are good talkers because they have to compete with me. You know, my kids are kind, especially my boys. My boy used to make a cup of tea for his brother, and I said, that's amazing. He said, what? Well, just offering to make a cup of tea for a brother. He said, really? I said, you'd be a great teacher. He's now a teacher. You can't be a good teacher without being kind. Really. Some people are. They're bullies. They're horrible. They're egos. So what I'm saying, these skills and these qualities are really important. And they can help you grow your confidence. Practice listening. Practice speaking. And everybody now gets a free book, okay? So when you leave, there's tons of these exercises about being organized, about problem solving, about working in teams, about communication. And these are all in English. And if you say, Stephen, I want a digital copy in Ukrainian, I can. And already you've got so much vocabulary for the world of work. And in your interview, you can say, I'm a very resilient person. Resilient? That's a big word. Yeah, resilient. I'm very empathetic. Empathetic. Yeah? So there we go. We're going to finish in 5 minutes. Let me just show you one last slide here. Sometimes it's really good to have peer review. How do you examine these things? You can't get a degree in soft skills, but you can have we called mate your rates, rate your mates, rate your mates. And sometimes you can say to each other, Anna, I think you're a very good listener. Now, if I know Anna, and she knows me, That'll mean a lot to her. Yeah? So you can complement each other. And then you can say, who in my friendship group is really good at digital literacy, at really understanding the nuances of digital literacy, and find champions. Moving on quickly, we've assessed our skills and we've got a little bit of feedback, and I want to ask you, how will this exercise help you in your job search? If you don't know now, that's fine, but just think about it this week. Read the book, have a look at it. And then you think, what interview questions will help you show that you've got those soft skills? What interview questions? Most interviews will say, well, tell me a little bit about yourself. Have you practiced that in the mirror?
No, but we need to do it.
We need to do it.
Yeah.
And we can do it here. We can do mock interviews, and we can film you, and then we can show it back. Oh, dreadful. Awful. Nobody hates it. But better in a group like this. And you have to be confident. People tell me I'm a very good listener. I want to work with children here because I have children of my own, and even though I don't know all the vocabulary, I know that children need to be listened to, respected, kept safe, enjoy life. And these are things that you can say, not just with the words, but with your body, with your language, with your emotions. And these are really important superpowers, okay? So be thinking about what soft skills that will come up in an interview, and there they are. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Can you tell me a time when you had to solve a problem? Most interviews have that, because problem solving is one of those soft skills that's so valuable. Okay? What would you say you're a good team player?
Yes.
People don't want people who've got sharp elbows. You know? Get out of the way. I'm coming through. I had an interview once with somebody, and he said, I interviewed him about his job, and he said, he runs a company called Happy Computers in East London. And he said, when I'm interviewing for a manager, I get about 8 people who I know could pass the job. Their CVs are great, they've got a lot of experience, and I get them in a room, and I just watch them. And he said, the person I appoint is the person who made other people look good. Let me say it again. The person he appointed was the person who made the other people look good. Why is that important for a manager? Team player. Good communication. Principal job of a manager is to make other people love their job. In a way, it comes down to that. I have 12 staff here. If I can make them love their job, 80% of the job is done. Helena, do you like your job? No, but you don't have to say. You were saying.
Helena just asked me in Ukrainian the same question.
Well, I can tell you that I like working with her. And that's really important. So listen, these are things that you just need to practice and think about. And so we haven't done techniques about interview practice. We haven't talked about LinkedIn. We haven't talked about lots of things that we'll talk about. Meeting employers, setting your own business. We start with you. You are wonderful, brilliant, powerful people. Sergey, when you told me your story tonight, real respect, real respect. Our job is to help you grow your confidence, feel that you can do something. And it's a marathon, not a sprint. Do you understand? A marathon might take a year, not a sprint. If you want to learn ESOL course, it will take you 6 months to get up to intermediate level. But that's probably the most important investment for you at the moment, to learn English. Get it a good grasp. It's been a real pleasure talking to you tonight. I hope you found it helpful. There are ways that we can help you. As Helena said, we've got one-to-one support, we've got English language support, we've got support for your CVs. Do you want to come again next week?
Yes.
Let's hear that again. Do you want to come again next week?
Yes.
Well, come next week and think what you can bring.
Okay.
You're not passive receivers. Some of you might say, I would like to do a workshop on social media. This woman here is a fantastic social media expert. Are you going, guys?
Not only.
You're waiting for us to finish?
Yeah, we're waiting when you finish.
Oh.
And then we're going to
Give me 5 minutes. You got to go now?
yeah, I think we go now.
Okay, can I see you sometime?
Yeah.
Come and see us.
Yeah.
These are friends, and that's what you will be. You've come back and support us and help us. Bless you, Anna. Are things okay, Anna? Bye. Love to the kids, love to the kids. So, come back next week and think, would you like to run a course at our makerspace for your other friends? I still want you to do a workshop for people on using Instagram. And you can do it. Teach once, learn twice. Do it in English. And we'll get other people in the community to come and hear you, introduce you to employers who might want those skills. So well done. The makerspace is just up the road. It's not a training space, it's a makerspace. Make connections, make things, make friendship, make connections with people who are different to you. And if you want to join this place, this is what Helena did. We had this crappy building here, and we've turned it into a lovely new building. And the rest is going to be even better. Thank you so much. Now, 2 bits of housekeeping. Helena, up here. We always want feedback. Feedback is the miracle tool in the box of learning. Let me say that again. Feedback, miracle tool. If you ask a child, they say, Miss, have I done my homework? Yes. Have you marked it? No. How does the child feel? So I've given a lot of energy. I want to know whether it's worked. I want to know what's good, but I want to know what's bad. Seriously. But you need to also get used to asking for feedback. It's humbling. Don't ask somebody who's cynical or a cynic or critical. Just ask a friend, how do you think my English is improving? And ask each other, do you understand me? Do you think I come across as positive? You know, and that's really good. Getting feedback is good. So do your phones now, get that in. Just spend 2 minutes before next week giving us some feedback, because we want this to be even better. Okay? So your feedback is important. And Helena, the last thing is...
Helena, can you help us with guidance and home tasks?
Yeah, so there's homework, is there?
Yeah, we have a home task
Okay.
for everyone.
And I'll give you one of these as well. Let's just go.
We can help you understand your soft and hard skills, what we are talking about today. And it's also we need for your CV. So we're starting to prepare your CV right now. Irina, you want? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you want it in Ukraine, we can give it to you in Ukraine as well.
Це щоб ви вдома осмислили, подумали, написали.
Yeah. We have to show our funders, which is the council, that we do a great job. And they do know we do a good job. But it would be nice at the start of this course if we could take one group photograph. Okay? And then we can circulate them with people's names so you get to know each other. Do you remember we said at the beginning, we have consent forms, or informed consent. Bless you, Matt. If you don't want your photograph taken, absolutely fine. Really. If you don't want to be in a group photograph, no pressure. But if you're happy to take a photograph, you might end up like that sometimes.
Today broke me microphone. So we have to say goodbye to someone who may watch us on Instagram and YouTube.
Who's that?
Who is that? Who is watching us?
Oh, you have to say goodbye. Bye-bye, thank you for watching. It's better in real life, so if you want to come to the course next week, come to London in New Cross Gate and you'll be part of the Facework Ukraine program. But till then, bye-bye.
Bye.